Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today I'm going to be using the Planners Anonymous digital kit for Deck the Halls to make 3 Christmas cards. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've printed out a bunch of stuff from the Planners Anonymous digital kit. I will link it for you down below. So I've got different pages, and some die cuts, which I haven't die cut out because I wanted to do that to show you that you don't need a Cricut basically to do this. So I've got 5 or 6 pieces of paper. So we've got the gorgeous one. They're actually 12 by 12s, and I've just printed them out on A4 paper because that's all I've got, or all I can print on. So we've got the beautiful poinsettias with the pine cones and the holly. We've got the gingham. Got all of the stockings. All is calm, all is bright. We've got the lights, and we've got this gorgeous one with all like the little tags. I didn't print out all the die cuts. I just printed out enough to sort of work with. So I've got the presents, I've got the snow globe, I've got the holly, I've got the poinsettia, a couple of stockings, and the little stamps. And I've got some sentiments as well. So 'tis the season, peace, love, and joy. It's Christmas, baby. I definitely want to use this one, and all those Christmas feels. And then I did print out the plain coloured paper as well. So I've got the green, the red, the yellow, the brown, the tan, and the black. I think they all came out really well except the black one. That one looks a little bit, you can't really tell and you can really see the lines. So I'll probably skip that one. But the rest of them I think are really nice. So I think I'm going to try and make three cards, and maybe I'll make 2. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm going to start off with, I really want to do something with this snow globe. And I really want to do something with the stamps. So I'm actually going to really quickly cut these out. Actually, I might do all the cutting in one go. So I'm just going to cut out all of these and I'll be right back. So I've cut them all out except the poinsettia, and I'll work out if I want to use that later because it could just be a bit difficult. So I've got a bunch of not pre-cut, but pre-done card bases just to kind of help me out a little bit. Obviously if I make one of these as a different size I can make another base, but this sort of gives me a place to start. So I really want to use, there's a few things I really want to use in the decorative paper, and then there's some stuff that I really want to use out of the plain. I really want to use this. So I'm going to cut this. So I'm just going to cut off the edge here to begin with. And then just sort of work out where I want, because it needs to go horizontal to kind of fit on the card. So I'll go to about there-ish, and then I can cut it down to be the size I want. So I'll get rid of all the white stuff. I think I'll leave just a little white border around the outside of this one. So you guys know by now, I very rarely use rulers and measuring stuff. So I'll just mark sort of roughly where it is, and then I can just trim off bits. The cool thing about the digital kit is obviously if I mess this up, if I cut it too small or do something silly, I can just print out another one. So you have the whole kit there to play with sort of over and over and over again, which I think is really cool. Okay, so I'm going to cut off a little bit on the top here because I have too much and I think it sort of looks a bit funny anyway. Here we go. And just cut a little bit off on the side. itself here, just in case you're playing along, is 14.7 centimeters by 10.4, and I've cut my bit of paper to 14.5 by 10.2. So we've got about a 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter sort of border all around the outside, which I think is just enough. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. Now none of these are going to be particularly complicated. They're all about being simple, because the designs here are just so gorgeous. You don't need to go over the top. You don't need to do anything too complicated, because these really do speak for themselves. Like, I would be quite happy to give the card looking just like that. That would be all I need to do. I'm going to grab this one here that's all those Christmas feels, which is in a circle. Just cut that out. It may be too big, which if that's the case, I'll cut another one. Damn it, I got a bit close. I was trying to leave just a little bit of white all around the outside, but I boo-booed. So if that's the case, I then just go in and I'll just cut that little bit of white that I missed at the top. You obviously can use a Cricut or a silhouette or die cuts, or especially for the circle, you could use a circle there without too much problem. You don't have to cut it out, but I just felt for this one I'll try and show you guys that you can do them without needing anything else. I think that looks really cool. I'm just trying to work out where it goes. It goes in the middle. I think I want to pop that up. I think I want it to be up a bit higher. So because I've only used a really thin paper, so the paper I use for this, just in case anyone's going to ask, is the Canson drawing paper. It's my favourite paper to print digital kits or inserts or anything on. I just love the way it feels. So to kind of compensate for the fact that I've used a thin paper, instead of using foam tape, I'm going to actually use some like a foam sheet. So I'm just going to trim off how much I need. I have a bunch of this. You can get it from Spotlight for like 12 bucks. It's really good. And then I'm just going to trim around this. And I just want it to be just a little bit smaller than my circle. So I'm just kind of just underneath it. That way I'm not cutting the paper. So it'll sit nicely behind there and you won't see it. Because it's black anyway, it'll be even better. And then to stick this on, my biggest, my tip is to use actual double-sided tape. You can use the glue dots and you can use liquid glue, but they don't do such a great job. So I always find that this is just a bit easier. You can get foam that already has adhesive on it, but I find it's a lot more expensive and it's just easier to do it this way. So this is the way I like to do it. So just pull off that release paper. I am kind of tempted to use a bit of washi tape on this as well, but at the same time I'm trying to not dip into my other PA stuff so that I can just kind of do it just one. That is just so stunning. I just want to have a look. I don't think I will, because I think it'll be too busy. Cutness of it. The circle is not a perfect circle, so it kind of suits this. There we go, and that's as simple as that card's going to be. Like, would that take me 3 minutes to cut it all out? So there's number one. Number two, I want to do something a bit more, not complicated, but something a bit different. Get the card base in again. I really want to use these stamps. So we've got one, I think there's 5 of them. Now I haven't gone around and cut them with the little notchy bits because I don't think I could. I don't think I could. going to try with that ticket. So I'm just going to cut that out. Otherwise I have to print out one of the sentiments, but just cut it a bit smaller. I really like the way that looks. I'll put a bit of paper behind it so it won't be plain white. You know, that doesn't look right. Okay. And that 'Tis the Season is just a bit big. But I'm just going to try with this Let Your Heart Be Light. I want this to be straight, so I'm going to use the trimmer to kind of help me out here. I am going to use the trimmer, but I'm just going to trim this bit off so I can get into it. There we go. Didn't want to cut my tickets. I have a feeling this might be too big as well. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and print out another one of these 'Tis the Seasons, but I'm going to print it to be exactly the right size. So it'll go down to probably 10 centimeters. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got all of my stamps all cut out now. I added an extra one because apparently I missed one. And I've got my 'Tis the Season that's the right size. Now I've deliberately left not the notches on here because I want to put this onto some cardboard. So I have a bit of scrap cardboard over here somewhere in my big pile of paper. And so I'm going to stick this down just so it's got a little bit of extra strength behind it. Oops. Got my glue stuck. And then by not cutting out the flags, I've kind of allowed myself the ability to do that in one hit. Obviously cutting just the straight bits isn't so hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that really quick. Alright. So then to put the card together, we'll get our little card base. Oops, it's a bit of a tear. That's alright, I'll make that work to my advantage. So I'm going to cover the whole front for this one. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to use the light brown or the dark brown. I'm just going to have a quick light brown. Sometimes you just have to look. I'll just cut this to sort of about the 10-ish mark, so that way I can stick it on and then trim off the excess. So there's a little tear, like I said, but I'm going to cover that up with the paper so it won't be such a big deal. So when I'm going to cover the whole sheet, the whole front, I tend to put all the glue on the front. I just find it's a bit easier. Got little bits of glue everywhere, which is what's getting stuck here. I'll just line that up on the edge so I can't see any white. And then I'll just go ahead and cut off all of the excess. I'm just going to do it with scissors because I can use the card to kind of be my straight rule. Okie dokie. So there's the front. I just need to line the stamps up. So I'm going to use my ruler to kind of help me out a little bit here, just to try and keep the lines straight. So just arrange these sort of where I want them. Just a little, especially when you've got the straight rule out, a little trick that I do is I'll put a little bit of glue tape on the back of the card and then use my mat. I'll use the lines on my mat to kind of keep that stuck down, and then I know it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to move these around so I know where I want them to go. These are all cut to about 3.7 centimeters wide, and then however tall that happened to be on Photoshop because I wasn't that clever. I'm just looking at where I want it to stick. This is just an extra little something to keep this shut because it keeps popping open. So I'm just using a bit of washi tape to hold the card shut. so I get my placement right, because I'm really happy with the way that's sitting at the moment. This is a little trick when you've got stuff like this. Grab yourself some washi tape and grab the oldest, unstickiest stuff you can get, to the point that if you have to sort of put it on your clothes to point it at, like to stick it, unstick it, do that. So I'm just going to put a bunch of these on my clothes, just to get the stickiness off, and that way you can just sort of flip them up, put the glue down, and then stick them back down again, and they'll be in the right spot. Or flip them sideways, whatever you want to do. But just be really gentle when you pull them off. Really only need sort of one or two to be exactly in the right spot, because you can kind of use, actually, I'm just going to keep them there like that, but guide myself now with the other ones that I've already got stuck down. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick all of these. Like I said, just following along where my lines are, using my ruler if I have to, just to guide me as to how to keep it straight. Just for the sentiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a bit of foam tape, because I think at this point I'm actually incapable of making one layer cards. I like the dimension. It's much cooler. So I'll just stick that down. Just looking at if I like it better at the top, the middle. I like it there. I think that looks really cool. Line that up in the middle. There we go. And just pull that up gently, because it's got the tape still on the back. Just get rid of that. Alright, and there's card number 2. Oh, I like that one. I like the stamps. I think they're cute. Alright, we'll do one more, and I'm going to be a bit tricky with this one. I want to use this snow globe. I really want to use this snow globe. So I'm going to have that on the front. Now, when I printed the other stuff before, I printed out a couple of the sentiments just in black with my laser printer instead of with my, what's the other printer called? Inkjet printer. Thank you, Ryan. So that way I can add some foil to this, because I think it'll add a bit of something. Now, I did have a sentiment that I had cut out. Now I can't find it. So I'm just trying to rustle through all my papers. So I've just cut out this season's greetings, and I've cut it out in a square, but it's not going to stay that way. I'm just going to send it through the foiler on a square, as the square, and I'm going to use the champagne gold foil that I got in my spotlight haul the other week. But before we do that, I'm just going to trace this out onto my card base. I'm just going to sort of put it where I want it, and then just trace it out really gently. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because we're going to cut this out and have this be a bit of a pop-up or see-through card. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out with my craft knife. While it's cutting, because I'm going to sort of turn the music up, I'm going to foil my season's greeting. So when I come back, I'll have this cut out and this foiled, and then we can keep going. That's all cut out. What I've realised while I was doing that is I probably should have put the decorative paper down first, but then I wouldn't have been able to see where my lines were, so it might be okay. Now I tried to be as smooth as I possibly could while I was cutting that out, because I have a tendency to leave little bits, but I think this has worked out okay. So I've also got my sentiment here that's been foiled, and I'm hoping it's worked. Yeah. There's my season's greetings. How good is that foil? It's so pretty. So then I'm going to do two things. So I'm going to put the gingham on the front, and then I'm going to put on the inside just the plain green. And that way you're going to see the gingham where the sentiment is, and then you're going to sort of be able to see just a little line of green sort of around where the snow globe sits. Now that's what I meant with I should have put the gingham down first, but I wouldn't have been able to sort of do that perfectly, so we'll just have to go with this. So I'm going to glue all over here like I did on the other card. I'm just being really super careful, especially at the top there, because I don't want to tear it. I want this to be exactly right, I'm just grabbing in my scoreboard, putting the card right in the middle. Hold on, I have to trim this off. Right in the middle, right in the corner is what I meant, not right in the middle. And then I can use that to get the paper in. I'm also just going to tape down this edge. I'm such a messy crafter. You guys should see how messy my desk is right now. It's hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. I'm also going to trim out the snow globe part of it, that needs to come out too, and I'll be right back. Cut out. Then I'm going to put the green on the inside. I'm just going to have that be just a little bit smaller than the actual card base itself, so it's sort of got like a little white border around the edge of it. Two reasons. Number one, I think it looks really cool. Number two, I like it. Sorry. So I'm just cutting that to about sort of 10.5. And I'll just trim off any excess when I find it. Put that on the inside. So it'll still give me plenty of room to write at the bottom here, or write a message on the bottom if I want to, or I can write it on the other side. I've used a lot of glue tape in this video. Now I kind of messed up when I put that gingham on the front because it's not straight. I'm going to get over it because it still looks really cool, and I don't think you'll notice once you've got the little snow globe in, but I did make a mistake there, so just letting you know that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the snow globe in. Just had another thought because I'm a crazy person. I'm just going to try something. If it doesn't work, I don't care, but I'm just going to try something. So rather than using glue tape, I'm going to use foam, and that way it'll sit that up just a little bit, and it'll be this really cool sort of three-dimensional much of my foam tape. Just foam tape for this one. You could use the foam bit if you wanted to, but I think for this it's probably easier just to use the foam tape. So before I take off all of the release paper, I just want to see how that works. So I think that's cool. It opens up fine. And then it's just a matter of what happens with the season's greetings. So I'm just going to cut this out so it's kind of just got the white border around it. Actually, I'm going to put on some cardboard first because it needs to be a bit more solid. I'm actually going to put on 2 bits of cardboard and then I can cut through them both at the same time. Lots of glue. Now it's not the perfect foil here, there's a couple of little black dots, it's not a big deal. I think whoever gets it will still be suitably impressed, so I think it's okay. Okay, so it's got 2 bits of cardboard behind it, so this will be difficult to cut. I'm just going to do my best. Close to the top of the S there, but not horrible. I don't love that sentiment, but I think it'll be okay. And it now fits at the bottom, so I don't need to worry about it hitting the snow globe. It'll just sort of work really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the snow globe down, and then we'll stick down the season's greetings, and we're just about done. Couple of bits that I wasn't particularly happy about with my cutting around the snow globe, but this has sort of solved the problem, which is nice. It is a little thin at the top. I think in an ideal world I would have made it just a little bit bigger, but I still think that looks really cool, and it adds the 3D of the snow globe doesn't add a lot on the outside, but when you open it, it's got that really big pop, which I think is really cool. So there we go, 3 cards using the Planners Anonymous digital kit for Deck the Halls. I could keep making these. I have 100 more ideas and I'll probably do a couple more. My plan is to show you guys another video of everything, like all my Christmas cards, because I've obviously done a bunch more since the last time I showed all of them to you. So I will do that video, and I think I'm going to put that up, I think on Christmas Day. So you'll get to see every card I've made for Christmas. So you get to see these again, but anything else I make off camera as well. And you will also get to see some of the leftover bits, because I still have so much left over here. You get to see some of the leftover bits in my weekly decoration that I'll be doing very, very soon using Deck the Halls. So that is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please give it a big old thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will leave a link down below so you can check out all the other Christmas cards I've done to this point, but also so you can find the digital kit really, really easily. I love these kits because you can just keep printing more and more and more and more, and you can do them in different sizes and different patterns. If you wanted to, you could do these fully digitally and not cut anything at all. Just make them on one flat piece, print them out, stick them on some cardboard, bang, you're done. So simple. Such an easy way to make Christmas cards, especially if you've got to make a lot of them. I will be doing, like I said, the wrap up of all the cards, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss it, as well as all my other Planners Anonymous videos that I do. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Have fun making any Christmas cards you might be making, and I'll catch you in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!